The journey of the Hoenn region. Now, this region I've called home for a long time, or at least felt like a long time. I mean, I've seen it all. I've seen dragons come from the skies. I've seen beasts, monsters crowd the land, and I've seen giant creatures surf the oceans. Truly, it's something special. I've always looked at things this way, especially because of how my mother was. She was very tactical, smart, intelligent, very researched based. So immediately I would be thinking, before my journey, I need to get as many items as possible. I need to be prepared. Yes, I was given the Pokemon that was entrusted to me by my mother, but frankly, I didn't know much about them. I mean, yeah, I grew up with them, and I grew up with this Pokemon, but it was kind of a weird thing. Very fossil-like, very not this day and age. I know that might sound weird, but that's just how I felt at the moment. That's just how it all felt, at least at this moment. But still, I was thrilled. I couldn't wait. I could not wait to step forward and take on the Sootopolis gym leader, because I knew once I defeated him, my true journey would finally begin. And it all started with me catching some Pokemon. I went to a nearby cave and caught myself a Zubat. After doing so, I felt pretty good. I mean, I didn't really know much about these Pokemon. I mean, everything felt very fresh in my brain. I don't know if that would make much sense. But after catching the Zubat, my next catch would be a Magikarp. Something very simple. I would train harder than I've ever trained before, and I would be ready. I'd be ready for whatever is to come. The water type gym leader of Sootopolis. The one that, frankly, I've been looking up to for a long time. The one and only Leader Hoenn. And frankly, this would be a breeze, and I knew it to be so. My Arctovolt would make this extremely easy. I mean, being that it is an electric ice type, he would blast through the entirety of the gym leader's team, and I would get my first badge. But this was just a stepping stone. Before my mother left, well, a long time ago, I've been fending for myself a long time. She does her research, she does her whatever she does for her job, and frankly, I'm just here. I was ready for this, born for this. I could not wait to start exploring. I could not wait to start working. I even heard that I had a dad out there somewhere. Not sure exactly where, but at least I've heard rumors. Some sort of normal type gym leader. Kinda boring in my opinion, but that's neither here nor there. Nothing to talk about, nothing to worry about. So I headed off and started heading to the very next gym as I arrived in a brand new area. I would be lying if I told you I arrived in complete confidence. It was odd. It was as if I was shaken to my core, as if something otherworldly was telling me in my own head that I needed to slow down, I needed to prepare more, and that there are things that I needed to worry about. This next gym was a psychic type gym. On top of that, it was a double battle. Things like this needed to be ingrained in my brain to worry about, and for some reason it was as if it's been imprinted and stapled right onto my forehead for, well, ever now. So after building my team up a little bit, getting a gold bat and also a Gyarados, I actually wonder traded a little bit to try and get another Pokemon as well, in which I did just that, getting myself a Mischievous. In turn, I felt ready and prepared for what is to come. Even with this misty or psychic terrain that surrounded us, my team tore through them, repeatedly destroying and obliterating their psychic type Pokemon, giving no doubt to me that we were prepared and maybe even over prepared. But still, I wanted to make sure that we came out on top, and that's exactly what happened. My travels would then lead me to Lily Cove City, and I would speak with some of the locals. I would learn that there was no gym here, and that's kind of what I thought it would be, and some people offered me cool things. Certain items, certain held items, certain things like that, and there was a big, ginormous market here. I mean, I couldn't really get anything too crazy from the market at this moment, but it was something cool, I guess. But it's not something I would be utilizing that often, at least not at this moment. All I could think about was heading off to the next place where I could fight and take on the next gym leader. After I took on and caught Azora, which doesn't really get that much time in the spotlight, but I guess it's enough to reference for now. And eventually I would arrive at the next city where the next gym leader was waiting for me. And I'll be honest, I had no fear taking on Winona. My R.O.W.E would take out the Doduo like nothing. One powdered snow would eliminate it. On top of that, we had the Sigilyph, and that Sigilyph would drop like a fly, getting bit in half by my Gyarados. After my Gyarados took the Sigilyph down though, next up was the fall of the Murkrow, and directly after would be the end of her Swablu, giving me my third gym badge and arguably the easiest gym badge I had to deal with to date. But I'd be lying to you if I said that this felt, well, unique, that this felt inspiring, that I felt happy. It might seem odd, but I was thrilled. I was happy sort of about winning, but it felt like it was all blurred together. Even the phone call that I would eventually get while walking out of the gym felt like I've been there before. But maybe it's because I followed so many other trainers' journeys for so long, and finally I was on my own. But eventually I would have to more or less continue my adventure through trainers and also bad weather, eventually arriving at the next town for me to take on the next gym leader. But before fighting Watson, I decided to bolster my team just a little bit with a ground type, just to help me out. Just that little tad extra, and I decided to catch a Trapinch. Right after doing so, trained up just a little bit, and went right into fighting Watson. My Trapinch would immediately find use, immediately destroying, hitting Bulldoze on one of his Pokemon, as my next Pokemon, well, Gyarados would come in and hit a Dragon Rage. Probably not the best play, and frankly, I was kind of confused at why I even made it in the first place. Switching back out, I actually almost allowed this Rotom to kind of set up on me, getting the boost from Ominous Wind, hitting me again, and honestly, I was kind of afraid it would get another boost. But luckily, my good friend, well, the Rotom killer, I guess, R.O.W.E took him out pretty swiftly, and the rest of the fight was kind of a gimme. His Manectric would be defeated, and soon after, his Joltik would follow. It was a simple, very simple battle, a little bit of hiccup here and there, but it feels like I'm getting the hang of battling a little bit more, as if my knowledge for battling is increasing, and at least compared to my prior knowledge, as if I'm evolving or defining my skills a lot better now. After climbing mountainous terrain, I finally made it to Lava Ridge Town. I spoke with some of the locals. They talked to me about how it was so nice there and that it was this nice kind of geyser and hot spring and I should really enjoy it. And of course, I would pick up the egg from this young lady, you know, at least that's what you tell old ladies, right? That they're young ladies, and I would sit there and kind of run around for a little bit, playing with my Golbat. I wanted him to become a Crobat as soon as possible, so it would always be a big part of the journey to have fun with my Pokemon, enjoy their company, and on top of that, just enjoy the fact that we're on this journey. I think in the back of my head, for some reason, it tells me that happiness in terms of my Pokemon is very important, and that I should never, ever forget that. But with that thought at the back of my mind now, I went in and got ready to take on the Fire-type gym leader. She would burn through my Pokemon, But luckily, my Gyarados was able to recover and stoke the flames and able to defeat the rest of hers. After defeating her, I was gone. I was out training once again, getting ready for the next gym badge. My Golbat was now happy enough to evolve, so it did just that. It evolved into a Crobat, and I felt like I was ready for the next gym badge. But before then, I made sure to get a Kadabra, feeling that this would definitely be beneficial for this gym battle, being that Brawly is a fighting type gym leader. And on top of that, my Trapinch would turn into a Vibrava. I defeated Brawly by mostly using Crobat, Gyarados, and Arctovolt, and it came out relatively okay, at least better than Flannery. After a bit of adventuring and wonder training off my Togepi, I finally got my final team member, a Scorbunny. Someone that would be very powerful, at least for me, being that it can learn some fighting type moves. It could also learn some really powerful, well, fire type moves, something that I really needed for my team. So this would be helpful when I trained it up in the near future. But next up, I wanted to take on Norman. I've heard rumors that this person is my dad, and frankly, the rumors seem to be true. We look kind of similar, at least to a certain extent, but still, I had to beat him. I had to make sure I got this gym badge and was able to go on to the very next challenge, and that's exactly what I did. With the help of my Gyarados and also, well, my Crobat, we were able to defeat my father, supposedly, or, well, Norman, for the balance badge. After training my entire team, getting all of my evolutions, and getting my party to the best of its abilities, well, I was ready to take on the final gym leader before I took on Victory Road and the Elite Four. Immediately, I would go in with my Alakazam. My Alakazam would fall, but to be honest, it was more fodder. I didn't really want to train him up at this moment, but then my Flygon came in and finished it up. Soon after, another Pokemon would come out, Tyrantrum. Tyrantrum was going to be a major issue, and I definitely had to think twice about what I should be doing. Thinking about it just a little bit, I decided to go out to my Cinderace. After landing a Super Fang, it put Tyrantrum in range for my Gyarados to kill it. The rest of the fight fell into place relatively easily, and after defeating her Probopass, I got my final gym badge. The gym badge that would allow me to go off to the Elite Four, the one and only Stone Badge. Now I was truly ready, and I was ready to arrive at Victory Road. It might sound odd, but the arrival, the entrance, and also the journey within Victory Road shook me to my core, as if I was there before, as if I've been there before, as if I've lived through all of this. This might sound odd, and it might sound like I'm just a flat-out psycho, but all of it would come together. And finally, my dreams, my journey to become Pokemon champion seemed to be in arm's reach. I could follow in the footsteps of the person I saw on TV all those years ago. I could finally be on top of the mountain. So there I was at the doors of the Elite Four. I walk in and prepare myself for the very first challenge. But for some reason, everything began to feel odd.
The trial wasn't good enough. Agreed. Let's send them back in. Okay. Starting trial 151.
The journey of the Hoenn region.
Soon, we will have the perfect Pokemon champion.
I really don't got much to say. If y'all made it to the end of the video and you're hearing this right now, I appreciate all the support. I appreciate the love. I appreciate all the subs and stuff like that y'all are bringing to the channel so far. And wanted to give a quick little thing. Yeah, so my save file did break in this. If you keep up with the community tab at all, I brought it up and I talked about it very briefly at least. But my save file did break and is, well, gone. So I kind of had to cut it short. So I decided to take some creative liberties. If you enjoyed, and I really hope you did, show some love by leaving a like, a sub, and all that good stuff. But if you want to see more stuff like this, where I get a little creative, take some creative liberties, let me know. And yeah, that's all I really got to say. And I hope all y'all have an amazing day. Later.